Good afternoon. Ivan, yeah. Okay. As Ivan already mentioned, today's topic will be corporate entrepreneurship. To be true, I'm a bit tired today because yesterday, I, along with some of other InnoEnergy colleagues, we started from Amsterdam towards Berlin, but initially we took the wrong track. We went to Belgium, okay, then we had to come back. Yeah, but we have the innovative minds, so we can immediately change our decision. And when we were coming towards Germany, we saw that there were a lot of traffic in the road. They were having some kind of construction work, so we got delayed by 4 or 5 hours. So we arrived 4 o'clock in the morning. So if I yawn in the middle of the presentation, please don't mind. The thing is, I'm from the very first batch of Select 2010, and our course was the very first course of InnoEnergy. We were very lucky, and so I saw how people struggle doing their studies. I saw people, how do they feel after their graduation? Ugh.
I'm very, very sorry.
Okay.
It's too combative noise.
It's okay like this.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm going to have my share.
Okay. As I was saying, it's already my 5 years with InnoEnergy. So I saw people, how do they struggle with their studies. And I saw people, how do they feel after their graduation. I saw people, how do they pursue their career as a researcher. I saw people, how do they pursue their career as a corporate. So now when I when I look back, I can really see a life of 5 years, and I really feel good. And now when I try to connect those dots, I see everybody started from the same point, and they started they started getting spread it all over. But I don't know, probably they're taking different pathways, but I'm quite sure eventually they will meet at the same point. So if I summarize the career track, the pathways that people are taking after their graduation, basically these are the 3 characters who will define the career paths. First, Mr. G, he is the PhD geek. So he had the intention from the very beginning he will do research, and right after the graduation he started applying in different universities, and eventually he got admission in one of the top European university, and he started pursuing his career as a researcher. And the next one is the Mr. Starter. He's Mr. Me. This guy, he is a by-born entrepreneur. He has a business mindset. He knows how to start. He knows how to implement. And he became entrepreneur right after his graduation. And the last one is the corporate dude, Mr. He. I belong to this community. These people, they are very smart. They say that we will take risk, but later in our life. So first, we want to learn from the big corporation. We want to step into the corporate area. We want to see all the stages of life. And then we find ourselves in a comfortable position. We go for entrepreneurship. But during that time, he will also do a lot of innovation and entrepreneurial ventures. Yeah, I will come to this later. Ivan already introduced me. I'm Junayed from Select 2010. From the very first batch of Kick InnoEnergy, I was very blessed that I had very good, innovative, talented classmates with me. And today, out of these 8 parallel sessions, 4 of them are being conducted by the first batch students. If I give you a short introduction of them, Oshin Tamon, he's conducting a session on energy market. This guy is the smartest one I have ever seen. And another guy, Vincenzo, he was like Mr. Me, So he had the great intention to become an entrepreneur. So right after his graduation, he moved to Africa. He started traveling from one country to another, and he started finding the definition of social entrepreneurship. And I think he found it, because today he's presenting his presentation on social entrepreneurship. So I think he's going to define it very well. And the last, but surely not the least, Govinda. He's the best example that we can have in InnoEnergy. This guy, he started his PhD, but at the same time, he had passion. The work he was doing led Safari, and it became global. He started participating in different competition, and he started winning them all. Gobi is the best example that we have in InnoEnergy today. So I'm really proud of these people. They are from my class, Select 10, and I'm really happy about it. Sorry. Now, let's get back to the main topic, corporate entrepreneurship. First, let's define what is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is an act by an entrepreneur. So he needs to know how to innovate and how to initiate. That's it. When I was in Select 2010, for 2 years, everyone, all the teachers, all the instructors, they kept buzzing this word in my ears. Entrepreneurship, entrepreneur. I started regretting that if in future I'm not an entrepreneur, then I'm completely failed in my life. That was my feeling during that time. And they were saying that entrepreneurship means you always have to start up something, you always have to launch some company. That was the definition, that was their definition. But when I graduated, I started working for some companies, I got an extension to the definition. That is it, you just have to innovate and initiate. Whatever the environment, whatever the platform is. It can be a religious platform, it can be a political platform, it can be a corporate platform, it can be a social platform. Whatever the platform is, you keep innovating, you keep initiating. You don't have to launch a company every time. And me, as I started working for a big corporation, I did not stop innovating. And today, I can call myself as a corporate entrepreneur. And I'm really proud of Kick InnoEnergy because it started very slowly, but it never stopped. Today, it is really getting mature, bringing all the people from all over the world, from all over Europe, bringing here, making a connection. I should be detached from InnoEnergy 3 years back, but it didn't happen. InnoEnergy kept the connection with me, so I'm really grateful to them. So the corporate entrepreneurship, you will work as an entrepreneur being a big corporation. What are the examples? Today, everything you see, all the products, all the apps, all the equipments that you see are the result of corporate entrepreneurship. Take the very common example, Apple. Your iPod, iPad, iTunes, everything that they do, these are being done by corporate entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs. So they have serial entrepreneurs in their company who are inventing these products every day. Take Google. They have Gmail, they have Google Talk, they have Google Drive, they have Google Glasses. How did all those products come? They have some entrepreneurs inside their corporation, and basically they are bringing all these products. PlayStation by Sony, Java programming language by Sun Microsystem, and digital light processing system by Texas Instrument. Everything, what is happening around us is a result of corporate entrepreneurship. So you cannot take this subject very lightly. The thing is, seed is the same. Whether you do corporate entrepreneurship, you do normal entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, whatever you do, the seed is the same, innovation. You have to innovate something. You have to bring new ideas. In a corporate environment, you can bring innovation in two ways. You can change their strategy, or you can launch a corporate venture. So this is how you can bring innovation to the corporate environment. So if I go to the next slide, the strategic renewal, we have recently seen that Google completely changed their strategy. Now they have their mother company called Alphabet. So every time the company, they see that, okay, if we really want to sustain in this competitive environment, we have to change our strategy. We have to renew our strategy. As a corporate employee, you can always do the brainstorming, come up with new ideas, and you can go to your top management, give them the new direction. So if you really want to sustain, you will have to renew your strategy. And these corporate companies, they have big officials, high brains. They are always thinking about strategy. If they have a nice, good, matured strategy in place, then they can really sustain. Then they can really get a sustainable, they can really emerge as a sustainable company. So this is really important. So as a corporate entrepreneur, you can contribute in this sector. You can really contribute to change the strategy of the company so that the company can sustain long. And the next one is, you can really contribute to the corporate venture. It's a corporation. It has a big mass. It has big financial backup. So whatever it wants, it can do. So you can also give them new ideas. You can also come up with innovative thoughts, share it with them, and then probably they can launch some corporate ventures. Corporate ventures can be done externally, can be done internally. So if you want to do external corporate venturing, then you can have joint ventures, you can have spin-off. If I give you some example of joint ventures, as I belong to an engineering company, we construct refinery plants, petrochemical plants. So what we saw that, okay, our company has a good reputation. We are in the market for more than 100 years, but today we are struggling, because all our mother offices, main offices are located in Europe or in the Western world, where labor cost is very high. So we are really struggling in the market. So what we thought if we can bring some new companies on board. What are these new companies they're coming from? They're coming from India, China, Korea. So let's do one thing. Let's bring some Korean companies on board. We have the reputation, we have the legacy, so we can really capitalize this legacy to win new projects, but we can really capitalize those Korean companies to finish things cheaply, to implement things on time. So you can really drive your company towards that road, to have more and more joint ventures. You can have spin-offs. Suppose as a company, the company I belong, we are doing the construction of refineries, petrochemical plants. We were doing all the designing work, all the engineering work, but the construction we used to give it as a subcontract to another company. But now we are thinking, no, we want to reduce our price. Let's do the construction ourselves. Because as we have branches in India, we have branches in Africa, we have branches in Korea, so we can easily get cheap labor, and we can easily do the construction by ourselves. So we are spinning off a new construction company being in a corporation. So this is how you can also contribute to your company, giving new ideas. What kind of internal venturing you can have? If you can recall, in old days, even today in some companies, they used to have R&D sections, R&D departments, where they have like 5 or 6 people, long hair, long beard. So what they do, they just only think. They just do the brainstorming for the company. They bring the new ideas, and then the company try to implement it. But these days, what is happening? The companies, they are getting very intelligent. They're thinking, no, we have 40,000 employees. Let them all do the brainstorming for us. So they are giving different kind of incentives to all the employees, awards to all the employees, and the employees are doing all kinds of brainstorming. They are coming up with new idea, and these companies, they have started introducing new departments. Suppose in my company, they introduce a new department called Business Transformation and Innovation. So there, now we don't have any more geeks. These are the people, they just only pick the best ideas, they give it a feasible look, and they eventually implement it for the betterment of the company. So you can really contribute to have a new division or new department in your corporation. This is also corporate entrepreneurship. The things I have said so far, these are all ideal things, but in real world, nothing happens so smoothly. You need to know whether your company, do they have this entrepreneurial culture? So this is the first thing we need to address. The company you work for, whether they have this kind of philosophy or environment in their company or not. The second thing is the employees. This was the first one. The second thing is the employees, the individuals that they work for the company, whether they have these characteristics in them to innovate. I think here, on this question, I have a feeling, I think I should share it, that the Kick InnoEnergy people or students are the best package for these corporations. Because we all the individual of Kick InnoEnergy, we already have this mindset. We already know how to innovate, we already know how to implement things, and we are quite knowledgeable. We know about entrepreneurship, innovation very well. So if the company recruit us, if the company hire this kind of people, then they can really feed back to the company. Third thing is, who is important? The employee or the manager? Whether the manager will help employee to come up with new ideas, or the employee herself or himself would come up with new ideas and give it to the manager. So who is important? The answer is both the parties. The employee should have this environment or opportunity to come up with new ideas, and the manager, he will have to encourage it. And the last thing is, what are the barriers? What possible barriers we have in the corporate environment, and how we can really get rid of it. So now I'm going to talk about the entrepreneurship processes. So if we really want to launch an event in a corporation, we have to have input from both the sides. We have to have an organizational setup where the organization is ready to absorb innovation and promote it later, and the individual characteristics, whether we have the competent people in the company who can really come up with innovative ideas. If both of these come together, then we can really launch an event. And then we can, then here I will also share my experience, like what kind of things I did being a corporate entrepreneur in my corporation. So we will have to look into these two things. So the studies shows that these are the 4 kinds of companies we may have these days. Here, the best one is the producer. Basically, they have a well-established corporate entrepreneurial practices. So you will get the full support from them. I put some examples like Cargill. This is a kind of company who does this kind of things. And in Google, you see they provide you with all kinds of funds, and then they take you to the senior management. So basically, Google is work as an enabler. The opportunists, as the name suggests, basically they don't do anything, they wait for the opportunity. If some employee come up with some good idea, or some ideas come from external party, they try to absorb it. So they are not very organized. And advocate, in this part, basically they strongly promote the new ideas, but basically they are not the owner of the funds. So they take you to another, they forward you to another party to have the fund. So these are the 4 kind of industries or companies that we have today. So this is the company culture. So if you can work for Cargill or Google, then you are very lucky. And what kind of individual characteristics we should have? As I already mentioned, the characteristics we are having being an InnoEnergy student, I think this is enough. But you have to be proactive, no doubt. If you are proactive, if you know how to think creatively, then you can really contribute for the betterment of the company. When I joined Kick InnoEnergy program, before that I was not that innovative, and still today I'm not very innovative. But the thing is, InnoEnergy kept on pushing me to think in a different way. And that really helped. So I think here Kick InnoEnergy played a very vital role. So if we are quite okay with these two sources, two inputs, then we can really launch an event. Oh, wait. Now, here the thing is, when you start something in a corporation, what kind of approach you are going to follow? You will follow the top-down approach because now everything is settled. Your company has a very nice environment. You have nice innovative thoughts, ideas. Now, how are you going to implement it? So here we have two processes, whether you can go for top-down approach or bottom-up approach. Top-down approach is your top officials, high management, they will pick one idea and they will implement it all over. And the bottom-up approach is some employee, he will come up with some new idea, he will take it to his immediate manager, the manager will take it to the office manager will take it to the corporation, and then the idea will be implemented. If I may ask you the question, which approach you think is more appropriate? I think it's the bottom-up, should be the bottom-up. My experience says it should be the bottom-up because what I did when I joined my company back in 2012, 6 months later I got an opportunity to do a presentation in front of my management. And I was asked to do a presentation on value creation topic. So I had to come up with some innovative ideas. Then I gave the presentation on video tutorials. Because the company I work for, we use different kind of software which are solely customized for our company only. Those softwares are not available outside. So what happens if new employee joins? He usually takes 2 to 3 hours to learn those software tools. So what I suggested to my management, that why don't we start capturing all the things that we are doing with this tool? Suppose I need to create some electric network with that tool. So while I'm creating it, why don't I capture it? Why don't I screenshot all those things that I'm doing with my screen, with my computer? I can record it, make some video, upload it somewhere. When the next guy will do the same work, he can just watch the video and do it himself. I told him, these days we are having different kind of manuals, we are having different kind of instruction, different kind of technical specifications. Why don't we make video version of all those specifications? Because if you open one electrical specification for motor, it has 400 pages. So you don't feel like going through all the details, all the pages. So why don't we make a 4 or 5 minutes video, just a kind of teaser of that document, and you watch it, you get the idea, okay, what is this document about, and later you read it. My manager, he really liked it. Because if we can really implement this idea in our company, we will save huge amount of cost. So let's do it. So I, along with some of my other colleagues, we started preparing video tutorials. We started capturing our screens. Because basically we work for automation departments, so we had a good hold on 5 or 6 software tools. So we prepared tutorials for all of those tools. In 1 year, we prepared more than 200 videos. And we uploaded them in some place. Interestingly, when I did the presentation, 2 months later, our company introduced a new platform like Facebook inside the corporation, where you can create your profile, you can create your groups. So we created a groups with a name called Film It. So whatever you see, just film it. Make the video, upload it. So then the whole department, they really liked those whole idea. And this idea, this thing started getting spreaded out all over the offices. We got good reward from our office manager. Then this idea was picked up by the corporation. At the similar time, when we were really doing everything from bottom, like we were running the pilot projects, we were doing the tutorials on our own, then we were taking it to the manager, then manager really motivated us, encouraged us to prepare more, and then it was taken by the corporate. But at the same time, when corporates saw that, okay, people are really working on video tutorials, they immediately launch their own event. They make very nice instruction manual. Okay, if you want to make videos, do it like this. But they did not prepare any example. They did not do any video by themselves. So nobody picked it up. So this thing completely failed. So they tried to apply it from the top, but it completely failed. But when we did it from bottom to up, we got a huge success. And as I was telling, that our company last year introduced a new department, Business Transformation and Innovation. So this year, they really encourage us to do this kind of things more and prepare teaser for all kinds of documents. So whatever the documents they issue, there has to be a teaser with it. It's like a movie. So if you want to see the whole movie, read this document. But first, see the teaser. And recently, me along with my other colleagues, we introduced 2 cartoon characters to those teasers. So one guy, he's always in stress. He has always some problem. He come to the intelligent guy, 2 characters, Mr. Bone and Mr. J. So Mr. Bone is a kind of stupid guy. So he's always in stress. So every month he comes to Mr. J. And he said, Mr. J, I'm really having problem. I have Korean, I have Indians, I have other people in my team. And they don't understand English at all. Then Mr. J is here. He said, oh, no problem. I have a solution for you. Why don't you make video tutorials? Because video is above language. You don't need to explain anything there because you are doing everything there in your screen and you have already captured it. The guy from Korea or India, they will just have to go through it. That's it. There is no language there. You don't need to know any language. So now the corporation has decided to have a teaser with every document. And it will be implemented from this month onwards. As I said, definitely we have some barriers. These are the big corporations. They have a big momentum. They don't want to bring changes at once. Okay, you really need to pursue them. You really need to make them understand that if you really implement it, it will bring you some advantage in terms of money. Here, money matters. If you can really show them that, okay, by applying this new technology, new idea, you can save some money, then they will definitely adopt it. Another thing, as Filmit was a great success inside the corporation, so yeah, we are having good days, good time now. But if it was a fail, if they did not like it, then probably you would have some impact on your career because of that attempt, because we are spending some time, we are giving some effort for this idea, for this concept. So definitely there were some barriers. And in a company, in a corporation, you have a mixture of different kind of people. You have people from all over the world. You have people above 50. You have people below 30. So below 30 people, they are quite interested to adopt new technology, but the old people, they are quite reluctant to it. So yeah, you really have to overcome all those barriers. These are the companies, these are the ideal companies, Google, 3M. They have the perfect environment. You go there, you have all the resources with you. They really encourage you to put your effort and spend your time to do the innovation inside the company. Yeah, I think I have already talked about it, ability to overcome barriers. So yeah, it's basically when we talk about barriers, are from 2 sides, both the sides, from the organization and from the individual. Individual, the barrier is like you really have to risk yourself. You have to face some threats. So if you can really overcome these things, then yeah, you can emerge as an entrepreneur. And from the corporation point of view, they have a big mass. So they should have some department, some people in place who are really having prospective minds, who really wants to bring changes to the company. And the companies these days, as I already mentioned, they are incorporating reward programs, incentive programs for their employees. So yeah, if employees sees that, okay, if he can come up with new ideas, he can get a reward, he will be rewarded, or he can get some incentives, he will definitely do it, no doubt. And these days, they are organizing some kind of annual event every year. So where they're inviting all their innovative minds together, taking them to some country, they're spending together like 1 or 2 weeks doing the brainstorming, and they're doing everything to bring new ideas to the company so that the company can sustain long. These are some small, how can I say? I listed down some initiatives that me, along with some of my friends, we have done so far since 2010. When I left Bangladesh, I'm from Bangladesh. When I left Bangladesh back in 2010, I started a community or group called Vision 2012. Today I have one representative from Vision 2012 here. I'm very lucky. He was my direct student where I used to teach. So there we launched a program. We say that by 2012, we will give all kinds of support to 20 students so that they can prepare themselves well and they can come abroad with scholarship. And in 2 years, it really happened. Out of 18 or 19 people, eventually they got scholarship and they come to Europe or USA and different countries for higher diplomas. So it was a great success. It is an example of social entrepreneurship. Okay, so entrepreneurship is not always like you'll have to start up some companies or you'll have to go for some spin-offs. The second thing is higher study. No, Gobi, you should be here in the first half. Because I said a lot of good words about you. And the second thing is the higher study abroad Bangladesh chapter. So when we were almost done with Vision 2012, we thought that why we are restricting ourselves only in one university. We can spread these things to all over Bangladesh. Then we created higher study abroad. We started preaching all the undergraduate students. We started giving them all the information, because information is really valuable, so that they can really prepare themselves. They started publishing conference papers, journals papers. They started applying to different universities and key energy programs, and then eventually they come abroad for their higher diploma. So this whole venture, a whole initiative was for the whole Bangladesh, and it was a great success. Next thing was the Chand Rater Hashi. It is basically written in Bangla. In Bangladesh, we have two big festivals. In Eid, we call it Eid, and during that festival, we usually buy new clothes for us, for our relatives. But unfortunately, in Bangladesh, we have a lot of underprivileged people who doesn't have new clothes in those festivals. So what we did, me along with some of my friends, we formed a community where we started getting donations from different organizations, different institutes, different individuals, and we started to buy new clothes for those people. And it really ran well for first 2-3 years, but as I'm not there in Bangladesh, so yeah, some time later, the pace got reduced. But the thing is, the idea got spread. The idea was already taken by some other communities. Still today, Chand Rater Hashi has been run by my cousins, by my sisters, but it's not went very big. But the idea has already been spread to other communities, and they are doing a lot of good things for the underprivileged people. I can recall one community they call Light of Hope. They are doing a lot of good things in Bangladesh, and they are also from InnoEnergy. So they are establishing schools all over Bangladesh in the village areas. Film It, that I have already talked about. Employing people, I don't know, I should not write it in that way, employing people. But the thing is, in 2012, I was alone working for my company. In 2013, I got another Kick InnoEnergy guy, Naushad, he's here. And as I already mentioned, Kick InnoEnergy people, they are the best package. The corporation will like them a lot. Because they already knew it in 1 year that, okay, one InnoEnergy guy is doing a lot of things for our company. We should take one more. And they were not quite happy with two. In 2014, they take another one, and he's here, Mr. Zahid. And 2015, they took another one, Maruf. So in every year, the InnoEnergy graduates, the number of InnoEnergy graduates are getting increased in my corporation. So this is also one kind of entrepreneurship, because this guy is getting around 50,000, 2013, 100,000, 150,000, 200,000. So yearly turnaround is 2,000 euro, 200,000 euro today. So this venture is not that bad. Okay.
talk to the next year recruitment with you?
Yeah, why not? But I don't know, how did it happen? All the people are from Bangladesh. Probably I know them very well, and they know me very well. That's why it is, yeah, this is how it is happening. Okay, I think I'm done with my presentation. One last thing, we always have to be in a good environment, because basically our environment is our life. So if we have good people around us, we can always think about good ideas. We can always lead a good, happy life. Thank you.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we have only 10 minutes for questions. So, and I'm sure you have questions I personally have. Please start asking, and I'll get the mic a little bit later. Yes?
Thank you very much for your
Yeah, welcome.
and insightful presentation.
I can hear him very well. It's not needed.
My name is Jeevan, and I'm an NTech student now.
Okay, nice.
I just thank you for your very impressive presentation.
You pressed that already.
Your presentation on corporate entrepreneurship was interesting, a new concept that we hadn't heard of before. Probably a pathway where students like me could go ahead with. Now, my question is also associated with it. How can a person who is in a corporation realize his dream if his interest is not in that company or in that area or organization where he would like to implement it? Now, how do you bring in corporate entrepreneurship there?
It's a very good question, okay, because corporation, they only understands money. Okay, so if your dream doesn't match with that one, then it's really difficult. So yeah, to be very true, my answer would be, then you always pursue some parallel career. Okay, because corporation, you always have to find a way which really benefits them. Okay, so if you have some dream which doesn't have any match with the corporation, then it will be really difficult to pursue that dream there. But I don't know, like if you dream something, you always like spend a lot of time with it, and somehow you find some way wherever you are to that dream, and you finally achieve it. Because while I was a student in my university, I was very interested to make movies. Okay, and we made some movies which are not that good. Okay, while I was in Bangladesh. And yeah, I had this dream in my mind like from the very beginning, that someday I will produce some movie. So, and it was my dream. When I started working for the corporation, I didn't know at all like how I'm going to implement my dream, but I don't know, it happened. It's like some Bollywood movies that if you really have some dream, you can how can I say, you can implement your dream some way. Okay, you can find a way. I don't know, probably the answer was not that good, but yeah, I can just share it from my life experience, that I had some interest about movies, and eventually I'm doing it, being in a corporation.
Hi, Junayed. Very nice presentation, I'd say. And I'm Chirai, I'm a nuclear engineer.
Okay.
So I can very much correlate with what you said, because in nuclear engineering, most of the entrepreneurship, it happens in corporate only.
Okay.
It doesn't happen outside. So one thing you mentioned in your presentation was that the corporates could help in this kind of process by giving incentives.
Yes.
But what I have studied and what I have had in my past experience is that entrepreneurship cannot be done by incentives. It should be done by self-actualization or self-realization. So how much do you support this?
I think it's both. Okay. I don't know, somehow money works. I don't know, it's probably if I'm very, I don't know, from a realistic point of view, money works. If you give your employees some reward, then they will run after it. Because as I already mentioned, this year my company introduced a program called Innovation Unwrap. They are taking all the brilliant minds to San Francisco, and they will spend 1 week over there all together. So when they declared these things that we are going to San Francisco, they received more than 700 applications from all over the corporation. But for last 2 years, they are just shouting to every employee, please give us new ideas. Nobody replied, nobody responded. But when they put some award on it, and they got a very good response. So award incentives, this really works.
Maybe can I make a comment?
Yeah.
It's not like you can bribe a very dumb guy to be super genius with $1 million. So maybe this guy already has some incentive. Let's say you are trying to be innovative in this company, but all your previous don't really helped you.
Yeah.
You had this mindset. Now you try to see, okay, what are the ways I can improve in this company. But at the same time, I would like to see, well, somebody hasn't contributed anything, and I have contributed something that has translated to money. So what is my benefit? So that's why the reward should come, because reward is basically recognition that, okay, I have benefited and I recognize you. And that's how all the global super genius companies sustains. For example, Google, you do something, they will give you some sort of ownership, and maybe you will share 1% of their total profit. So actually this is money that creates the center of gravity. Yeah. It works.
But the interest has to be there. Yeah.
Sorry, I just comment on the question. My name is Salman from Pakistan, and just finishing my master's program in clean fossil fuels. It's a kind of like a story from what I heard in a company. I went for a visit. The guy said, like, if you have an innovative idea or a new idea, you just share it with your manager. It may happen that it happened actually with that guy that he stole the idea and just implemented by himself, and he was the kind of, you can say, removed from the company. So I think it's like it very much depends upon the company where are you working. Like you have to know. I mean, does this company support this kind of situation or not? Like, or also the other thing is like. This incident which was happened with this particular guy, what is your comment about him? Like, if we have new idea, we want to approach to the managers to talk about it, like if something we are fearful about this kind of situation, what will be your opinion about it? Yeah,
the thing is like, what is innovation? You cannot just innovate something today and you stop. You have to continue with it. So for the continuous process, if somebody sees this kind of incident in one corporation, they will never share their ideas with their upper management, for sure. So we cannot have a sustainable, innovative environment in that company. So two things is very important, the trust and the autonomy. Everything builds up on trust. So if the corporation cannot provide you a platform where you can really trust your manager and manager can really trust you, then this thing will not work. It will collapse. And the second thing is the autonomous environment. You have to have the full authority to spend some time and put some effort to come up with new ideas. So if these two things is there, for sure, the innovative culture can be grown in that corporation.
I think like this can be one drawback at the bottom.
True, true. This is one of the barriers. True.
These are not something unheard of, I think. It's very common. But at the same time, the guy who innovates and has an innovative idea, not because some idea got stolen, he stops. So I think people, those who are innovative, they keep pursuing their dream, and it's a dream, I think.
Yeah.
Sadly, time doesn't wait for anybody. This was a great presentation, and there's a lot of interest, and I know there's more questions. I also have some questions. So during dinner, I think you'll be quite busy. People will talk to you. But first, to conclude the session, thank you so much.
You're welcome.